Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. Subscribe to the channel. You got to click the little bell icon notification to know when I go live. I got to tell you, someday, when I am doing this more, I have greater capacity to actually do this channel. I would love to go live every day at this time, 11:30. This is like a great time during the day to go live. For me, I've been up for a while, as well as, you have stock market opening up at like 9 or 9:30, whatever time it is. I think it's 9:30. And everything's starting to really get active in terms, and I'm Eastern time zone, so everything's starting to really get active around, that 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this allows for about two hours of what's up, Jorge, Mr. BBC in the house. Allows for about 2 hours of price action. So I wish I could do this every day. This is just a today thing. But thank you for everyone tuning in today. Sometimes before we get into these charts today, we're going to talk about a few things to look for this weekend that you should watch for on the weekly closes coming up on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I met someone at a different gym this morning, and sometimes I forget what level I'm on, quite honestly. So this person came up to me and said, "All right, I'm heading out." And I was like, "All right, cool." And like, "Are you almost finished?" And I was like, "Nah, I got another 45 minutes. I'm gonna be here 2.5 hours. Nah, I'm not done yet. Gotta finish up the weights, gotta do the cardio, and gotta stretch at the end. Gotta get that static stretching in." So I oftentimes forget that. I've just been doing this for so long. Jorge has made a very smart decision. He is all in on Pepe. Smartest thing you can do. Financial advice right there. Financial advice all the time on this channel. That's all I do. Before we get into Bitcoin, I just wanted to bring, we typically, Brian, welcome in. Maybe we'll take a look. We don't usually do stocks on this channel. We don't usually do stocks. But everybody remembers, or at least you should know, about the GameStop fiasco that occurred a couple years back. And we had this meteoric, it was a mega short squeeze, gamma. It was called a gamma short squeeze. We rode from 95 cents all the way up to $119. I've been following this price ever since. Now, this is a 2-week chart, okay? It's just something I'm keeping an eye on. I just want to bring it to your attention, right? History does not need to repeat, but it often rhymes, right? We are in a massive falling wedge on GameStop, okay? This also, just to let you know, this is also a bull pennant, okay? We have a rise up in price, and then we have this consolidation. Look at the dip off in volume. Okay, volume's dropping off and a huge incline in volume here. It's just something I'm keeping an eye on. At some point, never financial advice on this channel, but at some point, if I do decide to take a position in GameStop, ideally I'd want it to come lower in price, towards 15 or lower. I'll put something out there. Put something out on Twitter, and you guys do with that what you will. We can talk about it on the channel. But for now, I'm just keeping an eye on it. Let's talk about Bitcoin, though. Send the court, bro. Welcome in, Kevin. Yes, everything is down. The sky is absolutely falling for the emotional investor right now. People just don't know what to do right now. I want to emphasize, okay, we are undergoing a correction since we've had this large run up, right? You can see we had a leg up here and a correction, a leg up here, and now we're going through a correction, right? So now the question is, where are we going to stop, right? And this is really a short-term, lower time frame question. This isn't higher time frame question. This isn't putting into doubt new all-time highs this year or new all-time highs, even if it extends a little into next year. It doesn't put any of that into question. But really what we're trying to answer is, when will the bleeding stop? When can we expect to get a strong bounce in the markets? Well, in my opinion, we're right around the level where we can expect to get some sort of strong reaction to the upside, and allow me to explain why. Now, I have turned all of these prior green areas, this is the 12-hour chart. I have turned all these prior green areas of support here, these horizontal lines, into red areas of resistance because we are below them. Where are we at on the 12-hour chart right now? Okay, and you know I love price confluence, so we're going to connect the dots here to another chart. Where are we at on the 12-hour chart? We are right at this 200 simple moving average. And what have I repeatedly said about the 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour chart? When we are in the midst of a bullish turnaround within the market, and we are in the process of setting higher highs and higher lows towards new all-time highs, the 200 simple moving average acts sometimes as a magnet, but ultimately an area of support. Price, when it becomes overbought, overextended, it sometimes likes to gravitate around this area. Could we dip below? Could we go down to 25,800, 25,500? Could we come down into this area? Yes, we could come down here and do this. And technically at that point, we would be at 25,000. But the thing to keep in mind is when we do come down to this area, and we're going to do a quick refresher on this just to show you I'm not pulling this out of my ass. This is based on history. When price does come down here and we're in the midst of creating bullish structure towards new all-time highs, we might stay down here for a few candlesticks, but then we quickly reverse course. Allow me to demonstrate to you why I'm making this statement. Let's go back in time very quickly. Now, here we are in May of 2023. Hard to believe it's the year 2023. Still catching up on that one. This is March of 2023, and you can see we very quickly resumed to the upside here from 19,000 all the way up to 28,000, 29,000, okay? Let's go back to 2020. Once we got above, okay, once we got our golden cross, again, it's all about, should have created this context in the conversation originally, but it's once we get the golden cross on the 12-hour chart, okay, and both moving averages are moving up. The 50 purple and the 200 pink, right? You can see once that happened here, we came down, look, we came down to the 200 and we rode this actually for an extended period of time. We rode this thing from September 20th all the way until October 20th. We rode this thing, I apologize. We rode this thing from the 4th of September all the way until the 8th of October. So that's approximately a month. We rode the 200, but notice how, again, the 200 acted as a magnet, but it didn't deviate much from here. We did not do this. We did not do this, right? We did not create lower highs and lower lows, right? We just gravitated in here. Now, what happened once we freed ourselves from this magnet zone, the 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour? Look at how far we accelerated in price. Let's go back to 2015 and 16, okay? We got our golden cross here, right, in late 2015, and what happened? Again, deviated a little bit here, quickly got above it, deviated, got above it. Here you can see a little bit of volatility where we went below it by around 10%, but didn't create lower lows and lower highs, rode it, went on our way up, touched it, went on our way up, deviated for a few candlesticks, rode our way up, deviated for a few candlesticks, rode our way up, deviated for 2 candlesticks, rode our way up, okay, and then we had our correction, right? So in examining history, what we can conclude is, if my theory or hypothesis is correct, and we are in the midst of bullish structure, which will result in new all-time highs for Bitcoin, maybe we come down here, maybe we ride this line for a month. Maybe we ride it for a month. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe from May 12th until approximately June 12th, maybe we just do this, you know? Maybe we do that. But at some point, history has shown us, at some point, if we are in this bullish uptrend towards new all-time highs, we're going to bounce off and we're going to accelerate quickly, and you are going to kick yourself for not buying at these levels. Nothing at all that I ever say on this channel is guaranteed. There's nothing I could ever guarantee you. There's no other channel you can go to or any other technical analyst that could guarantee you anything. Again, run the other way. Run the other way. If there is a technical analyst that is guaranteeing you something, unsubscribe and run away, okay? Because no one has a crystal ball. But what we can use are the law of numbers and probabilities to ascertain. I love that word ascertain for some reason. To ascertain what is probable for the future, right? So I've identified 26,000. Again, could we come down to 25,800, 25,500? Sure. But my main point of emphasis is this 200 is right at 26,100. Anything around this level to me is a major buying opportunity. Major buying opportunity, 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour. Now, you know I love price confluence. You know I love price confluence. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, this is the weekly. Look at the 200 simple moving average. What price is the 200 simple moving average at? 26,100. Okay, now it's not always the case that the 200 simple moving average on a 12-hour chart is the same as a weekly. It's just the point in the cycle, the point in the process we're at, where coincidentally those two moving averages are the same price. So right now you have the 200 simple moving average on the 12-hour that we've just studied in history has acted as a magnet and as an area of support. And when you go to the weekly, again, the fact that we're above the 200 simple moving average on the weekly, this 200 simple moving average should act as an area of support. Could we wick below? Look on the weekly. Look at the weekly. I have an area of support drawn at 25,000. Okay, everyone is calling for 25,000. Could we wick to 25,000 and resume our course up? Abso-fucking-positively. All right, absolutely. It's entirely possible. All right, and I've said that. But you know my main view is because everyone that I see on Twitter has been calling for this $25,000 area and even below. While it absolutely has a probability of occurring, I think that more than likely it will not happen. If we get some sort of price action down to 25,000, it is not going to last long. You know, you're talking 25.5, 25.8, 25.6, 25.9, something I don't think that's going to last long. That's just my educated view based on the fact that everyone is calling for 25,000. I just believe we are at the point in the cycle that when people are waiting for specific price targets to come back to retrace to, it's not going to happen. That's just my view. So again, the weekly, kind of going back to the weekly here, what we want to watch for on the weekly ultimately, the most important thing for you to keep an eye on for Bitcoin, there's just one thing on the weekly, okay? If you can pull this trade view up on TradingView. Bitcoin weekly, we want to maintain a close at or above the 200 simple moving average, which is at 26,100. So let's just close Sunday 8 p.m. at or above 26,100. Now, is it game over if we close below it? No, it just expresses weakness in the price. And the way to interpret it is if we get a candle body close that closes below here, the greater the level of close below here, meaning like 25,000 versus 25,800, expresses the degree of weakness. It's a lot weaker of price action to close at 25,000 flat than it is to close at $26,059, right? So the more we close below the 200 simple moving average with a closing body, it expresses greater weakness in the price. So we really just want to maintain price levels at or above the 200 simple moving average on the weekly. Don't lose track of this chart, guys. We haven't touched on this in a while. And I've spoken to the historical significance in this chart. We're not going to talk about the blue hours for a moment. I just want to focus on the moving average. This is a 3-day chart on Bitcoin. This is a 125 simple moving average. It's something that no one else has covered. And in short, if you haven't been here for the conversation in the past, whenever we've had candle body closes that go below the 125 simple moving average like this, and they close below here for an extended period of time, once we recapture the moving average, the 125, with a candle body close, significant run in price. We stay above it and we continue to go above it and accelerate in price. Again, monumental price action below. Once we get candle body closes above, monumental rise in price. Beer virus, several candle body closes below. Once we maintain it here, monumental rise in price. Every fiasco you can think of between the great, the great financial crisis, the great crypto crisis, all right? This is significant price action below the 125 simple moving average, okay? Significant price action. Once we've recaptured it, will history rhyme? Not repeat, but will it rhyme? Will we see some sort of meteoric rise in price? We will have to be patient and await, but it's certainly, history is telling us that that is what we can expect because there's been no false signals on that. All I can use is the data to inform me. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Kevin also likes the word ascertain, although I think you butchered the spelling very well, but that's okay. I'm not grading anybody here on spelling. We all have our words we can't spell. There's always like that. You know what word I always screw up? I'm curious if you guys want to drop a comment. What word, like if you didn't have spell check or you do have spell check, it always calls you out. What word do you routinely misspell? For me, I think it's occurring. Occurring. It's O-C-C-U. Is it O-C-C-U-R-R-I-N-G or is it O-C-C-U-R-I-N-G? For some reason, I just always screw that one up. I don't know why. This is Ethereum, all right? This is Ethereum on the weekly. Now, I'll tell you what I don't like to see here. I've been telling you guys that it was very bullish once we got our candle body close above this green line at around 1800. Technically, it's at 1788, but we like to keep things stupid simple on this channel. 1800, okay? What you want to watch for Ethereum this week is I really don't want to get a close below 1800. We're sitting at 1764 right now. So ideally for Ethereum at 8 p.m. on Sunday, you're going to see a close at or above 1800. Okay. Again, similar to Bitcoin's, the concept of Bitcoin with the 200 simple moving average on the weekly, the degree to which the candle body is thicker and we close lower, a lot lower below this green line, that's support at the moment, the greater amount of weakness it expresses in the price. The degree to which, even if we close below it, if it's just a thin amount of the body that's below it, it's not as weak, okay? Because really, I have this drawn at 1788. Maybe the right line is 1793 or 1801 or 1776. But ideally, what you want to see on Sunday is a close right around 1800. That's what you want to look for, because we don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. Okay, I don't want to turn that into a red area of resistance. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at the altcoin market. You guys having fun with your altcoins? You loving the corrections right now? I got to tell you, for me, I've told you, the only thing I've been salty about with these corrections is the timing of it. I really hope we don't get as strong a relief bounce as I'm anticipating next week, because I got that bonus coming and I don't want to look at said assets that I want to invest in and now they're up 20% or 30% over where they're at today, right? Ideally, if I had my bonus right now, I would be exercising it heavily, but here we are and I don't. So this is the total two. Now, what does total two comprise? This is the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization value, excluding Bitcoin. So it does have Ethereum in here, and Ethereum does, it's important to take a look at total three. Total three strips Ethereum out, which is very important to look at because Ethereum represents a very large percentage of this view, okay? So in some ways, it distorts, Ethereum distorts the view of how the altcoin market is performing, okay? Because it represents such a large percentage of the population, right? So we'll take a look at total three, but it is important to take a look at total two. Now, what I'd like to do, this is a monthly view. Let's take a look at is the 2-week candlestick gonna close this week? Nah, that's the 22nd, all right. Sorry, getting distracted. Let's see. This is a weekly view here. Okay. So nothing, okay. I don't know what that was. Okay. All right. So nothing real major going on here, right? We got this area here. This is our target zone. Okay. I'm going to actually put this blue so it's not getting too confusing. You can see once we broke this red horizontal area of resistance in here, okay? Once we broke it, we held it as support. See how we held this red zone here as support? And then we rode our way up. Now you can see once we broke below it, resistance, okay? Resistance. So this blue circle ultimately is where we want to get it above. Nothing concerning, nothing crazy going on within the altcoin chart. It almost looks like we want to come back and back test this area here around 535, 540 billion, which would be like I don't know, like a 4 or 5% correction in the entire market. One of the things that actually raises a really good point. One of the things you need to ask yourself and determine this for yourself is so You have a crypto portfolio, correct? Hopefully you do. Hopefully you're not just invested in one asset. Hopefully your portfolio comprises at least, I don't know, depending on how long you've been in the market, hopefully you at least have two, okay? 2 to 3, maybe more, all right? So you got this portfolio. Let's say you got 5 investments. You got 5 crypto portfolio investments, tokens in there. And the question that you should ask yourself is, what is your downside risk and what is your upside risk or potential, okay? What's the risk to the downside of you losing money? What do you think, how much further do you think things could correct? Do you think things could go down 5% or 10% or 30%? And how much upside do you think there is? 5, 10, 30, 50, 100? Like, what do you think the percentage gain versus percentage loss numbers are? That's something you have to figure out for yourself. Again, when I look at myself, not buying at perfect levels, but buying at logical levels, the reason they're logical levels is because I have been able to ascertain prior areas of price confluence below that should act as support, right? And they are price levels that I anticipate will be much lower than where I see prices going in the future, okay? So even if I buy Synapse is a great example. Even if I buy Synapse at 77 cents, 74 cents, 72 cents, 68 cents, and where the hell is that sitting at right now? 60 cents? Where's it at? So you're looking at that. Synapse is at 61 cents right now. So you look at that and you're like, oh my God, you bought that like 20% more expensive, 10, 15, 23% more expensive. Yeah, all right, so I'm in a loss position, but my view is that thing can move very quickly, and the upside potential there, my downside risk is very low relative to the rate of appreciation I anticipate many months out, right? So that's something you have to ask yourself, and the reason I thought of that looking at this chart is the downside risk in the entire cryptocurrency market, the biggest risk that I see. Now, this isn't how much your altcoin specific your specific altcoin would correct. It's how much the entire altcoin market on average would correct, okay, in total. So when it's weighted on average, meaning if you took a look at every project and did a weighted average based on its market capitalization value. If you guys aren't numbers people and I just completely lost you, I did my best. So at current levels, if we came down to here, that would be a 5% loss, just shy of a 5% loss. If we came all the way down to this level of price confluence, that's a 15 to 16% loss, right? So that's the downside risk that I see. These 2 green areas of support here are my levels of downside risk, anywhere between 5 to 16%. But what do I anticipate happening over the course of the next several weeks? I expect the upside, and this is just the short term, this isn't long term. In the short term, I expect us to come up into this zone, which rests between 20 and 25%, okay? And that's just in the short term. So this is, what we're doing right now is we're just chopping around. There's nothing concerning here. We're just chopping in this space. Now, what we need to do, because Ethereum is having such a heavy impact on the view of this chart, is we need to strip out Ethereum's price performance and we need to ask ourselves, how are all of the altcoins doing, right? Just putting Ethereum aside, right? And I even have this, look at how I have this labeled. Look at the chart. Crypto excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? This is the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization, stripping out both Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right. Let's take a look at the chart. This is a monthly view, but we're going to look at things on a weekly view. Let's take off this because apparently, you know what? Do I have another total view? Stick with me here. Be patient. Stick with me. Patience. Patience. My father would always say, patience. Patience is a virtue, CBG. Patience is a virtue. Is this all I have? I thought I had... if I had a son or daughter, what my line would be? I don't know. I'm getting to that point in life. I don't know if it's going to happen, to be honest with you. I really do still have hope there'll be a little CBG or a little CBGette running around. But you know what my line with my child would be? It wouldn't be patience is a virtue. My line with my child would be that builds character. Like when they come to me and they're whining or crying about something, I'd be like, suck it up, builds character. Suck that shit up. Now, I wouldn't put it in those, I wouldn't say suck that shit up. We don't use foul language with little children. You know, you fall off your bicycle, you skin your knee, come here, you know, I love you, yeah, but suck it up, all right? You get a bad grade in school, you better suck it up and you better do better. That's the way that goes. A's and B's in this house. C's and below, we don't expect C's and below. C is average. We don't do average in this house. Hell no. A's, we want to see A's. B's are okay. B's are acceptable from time to time. A's, and some B's, all right? We need a 90% grade point average and above. This channel is completely digressing off the subject of crypto. I don't know what just happened. Let's get back to the charts here. Now, this is total 3. Now, total 3 is going to give us a real good view of how the altcoins look, all right? Again, just removing Ethereum. And you can see here, the first obvious thing to point out is this downward area of resistance. Now, we've broken out above it, and now we're riding it. We want to treat this as support. What we don't want to do and what would express weakness is to get a candle body close below here and then just continue sinking down. Even if we get a candle body close below, like where it's at right now, we still need to see a green weekly candle come in here. We don't want to start dipping in this area, okay? So right now we're just consolidating. There's nothing overly concerning going on. These red candles, even this green doji here, it just represents the consolidation and the correction also that's going on within the market. Nothing super alarming. The MACD, now I will say on the price indicators, a couple things to point out here. We haven't really looked at the price indicators in the other charts. The RSI is a little oversold. The MACD, here's the thing. Look at the shape of the MACD. I don't like to see this. Were we poking our head? Oh, we were poking our head. We were poking our head on the MACD above 0. You see this point right here with the dark green histogram? Look at what has happened since then. We've faded off. See the light green and the volume picks start to go down? And now what's happening is the MACD is curling down. I don't want to see this continue to curl down on the weekly, okay? What I want to see next week, and what I'm anticipating, we'll have to see how next week plays out. Part of me will be happy to see this, and part of me will be unhappy to see this, again, related to receiving a large sum of money next week. If we do get a strong reaction in the market, which I'm anticipating next week, some sort of favorable price action, this will flatten out and then begin to curl back up, okay? That's really what we want to look for. The other thing I wanted to point out from a price indicator perspective on Total 3 is the stochastic RSI. We're below 20. Okay, this thing has really lost momentum. We want this thing to get above 20. We have a negative cross. We need the stochastic RSI to get back above 20. Okay, that's what we need. Anything else on this chart? I don't think there's anything else on this chart. The other thing that I would point out is this zone right here between 470 billion and 428 billion. Really, it's all about getting up into this area and breaking it and holding it as support. We want to hold up in this area support. Why? Well, when we broke above it here, we held it as support, support, support before we went up. When we broke it here, resistance, resistance. Basically resistance here, and then this area here is close enough to hitting this area here. So once we fell below it, it acted as an area of resistance, where before it acted as an area of support. Guys and girls, these were the only charts I intended to cover. So if you have any TA questions, throw them out right now before I sign off. Let's take a look at the S&P. I think I have time for uno charting question. So if you have a charting question for me, you're going to want to share that with me at this point. This is a weekly view on the S&P. Nothing exciting going on. Nothing exciting. Nothing scary. Nothing, I don't know. Look at this candlestick. You tell me. This is the price action. I mean, the S&P opened at 41. Let's see here. The S&P opened at 41.37. It went as low as 40.99, as high as 41.54, and looks like it wants to close around 41.17. It's just an uneventful week. There's nothing exciting going on. Again, key thing to keep in mind, all right? We need the S&P to perform well. Time's going to tell what's going to happen here, and you know where I stand. This 21 exponential moving average, this blue line, is continuing to move up. It's going to continue moving up, right? Why do I bring that up? Well, because price action here is going to be in this zone right in here, right? We have an area of resistance right at this red line, and now we have this blue line that we want to act as an area of support, right? Something's got to give. We're either going to fall down or we're going to break this line and then start going towards 43.25. You know what side of the fence I am on there, okay? So let's just remain patient. I'm still anticipating when we go back in time and we evaluate price action in this market. And I was on the phone with, by the way, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is Sunday. I almost said Monday. That's terrible. Mother's Day is on Sunday. So, God willing, if your mother is still with you to this day, which I hope everyone's mother is with them to this day today, make sure to, if you're local, do something special for your mom. Spend some time with her. If you're not local like me, figure something out. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I don't want to be predictable, right? Like I send my mom flowers. I've done that. But it's like, you do the same thing all the time. Like birthday, you send flowers. Mother's Day, maybe send flowers. I want to do something a little different, I just haven't really figured that out yet. But I'm trying to think about it, but I haven't figured it out yet. But anyway, it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to any mothers watching, and make sure you wish your mother happy Mother's Day. I have no idea where I was going with that. I've completely lost my train of thought. But what I was I know what I said. I know what I was going to say, I think. I inevitably, when I was on the phone with my mother at some point recently, I always end up talking about crypto. And, I said that, I think I had this conversation with you guys before that, as it stands right now, because cryptocurrencies, and they're just broadly defined as cryptocurrencies, they are a risk-on asset. So because they're a risk-on asset, people are not going to deploy their capital, buy risky assets, if the stock market is not doing well. But if confidence comes into the stock market and the stock market is doing well, then it's risk on. People get greedy, and they really start to pump a lot of money into riskier investments like cryptocurrencies. Okay, so we need the stock market to perform well. There's nothing concerning here. We're just waiting for this test of 43.25 I've been talking about forever. Looking at this, I don't see anything concerning. Nothing concerning. Just trying to take a look at some smaller time frames. Nothing concerning. Okay. So, yeah, nothing concerning. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. Now, Monday. I will be back at the regularly scheduled CBG time. I will be live between 5 and 6. And what we'll do on Monday, like we do every Monday, is we will assess kind of how the week has closed out. The emphasis will be, how are we looking to start the week? Okay, like I said, part of me, does want to see that strong bounce next week. Part of me does not. Because I definitely want to be buying at what I view as suppressed levels. Now, we did have one. I will look at one chart very quick. Because Kevin asked, that's why. Longtime supporter here. So, that can't go unanswered. Let's take a look at Algorand. Kevin, it's funny you brought that up, because so full disclosure, I do not own any algo, but this thing is so low in price. And I know the FUD, if you guys don't know the news on Algorand, go Google, the stupid security concerns of Gary Gensler's reach is everywhere, but can't wait until he's out. But anyway, this thing has broken down, and I don't know. Depending where this is at next week, I'm not saying that I won't establish a position. Look at where we are at right now. And I'll be very Well, if I take, I don't, so the thing is, I don't, fumbling over my words, I don't disclose every single position I hold. I don't go on Twitter and say, oh, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I say, hey, got into my golden zone, blah, blah, blah. Since we're talking about this chart in particular, and now I'm mentioning it, I'll put something out there on Twitter if I nibble at this one, because this is down very big. Look at this. We have two major areas. This is on a weekly. This descending resistance here, we still are under. And this major one with all this resistance up here, we're still under. We have all this major resistance here. These prior green areas of support, we have to turn these into resistance. Let's talk about what we need to see in Algorand, okay? Because this thing is very weak. It's just bleeding heavily. And I know it's dropped its market cap ranking has dropped substantially. I think it's in the 40s now. Whereas before I thought it was up in the 20s. Okay. Right now, what's the low here? 16 and 16. Where are we sitting? Basically 16. So right now, okay, on a positive note, we have double bottomed, okay? This dark green line, we need it to hold, Kevin. You need 16 cents to hold, because if 16 cents doesn't hold, and you can see the area of price confluence here, if it doesn't hold, where's my next area of support? Looks like 14. Not trying to get too cute here. 14.4. Okay. I mean, and then things get scary if you lose that area, because ultimately you have a huge gap. What's the low here? 958, so close enough, 956. So if you're an Algorand holder, or you're looking to, Here's the thing. If you're in this or looking to get into it, what you want to see hold is the 16 cent ultimate area. I mean, this would be beautiful if this held, but now we have a lot of upward resistance we need to break through. You can see the areas of price confluence and the downward resistance. But let's focus on the areas of support. If 16 cents doesn't hold, we got an area around 14 cents, 14.4, 14.3, whatever you want to call it. If we start to break below here, now we could wick. What you have to understand is on any weekly candle, we could wick down here to 13 cents, and that's fine. If you get a candle body close on the weekly below this line, okay, a candle body close here, you have significantly increased the chances that you could drop as far as like 9 or 10 cents. Why? Let's go back in time. There's no price action back here. There's no price confluence. There's no candle bodies here. These are all wicks. These are all price wicks. They're an expression of volatility. There's no foundation that has been created between 14 and 10 cents, 9.5 cents, right? So ultimately, you better hope that, if you're in this thing, I don't like to come across as in a scary tone there. I want to watch what I say here. If you're an investor, I don't want to say you better hope. That those are too strong of words. But if you're in this thing, I would be very concerned, though. I honestly would be if 14.4 cents is lost to a candle body close. I would be very concerned. I would. So keep an eye on that. Just a weak looking chart at the moment. Again, I'm not focused on the news events. I'm just looking at the chart and saying this thing is, we're creeping down towards pandemic levels down here. So keep an eye on that one. Thank you for asking the question. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Do yourself a favor. Get out. Try to enjoy the environment a little. Get out of the house. Do something fun. Get active. I'm a very active individual. So I definitely like to share that wherever I can. If I didn't note this before, you can follow me on Twitter. You can obviously follow me on YouTube. You can even find me on Instagram, and you can find me on TradingView. It's just one word. No underscores. It's just Crypto Bull God. Guys, I appreciate the support. I will be back at the normal time on Monday. Have a great weekend. We'll look at the weekly closes. Share this video with at least one person. And until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.